Get ready for Oskaloosa High School sports on the Indians Network. Live sports. Local content. Student-run broadcasts. MCG, Oski News, and KIIC bring you the Indians Network. Presented by Craig Ford.
Hello again, Indians fans, and welcome to another edition of the Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. I'm Jamie Brockman, and we've got a great show planned for you this week. We're going to talk football, volleyball, cross country, and we're going to talk to the 8 girls that are going to represent Oskaloosa High School at the All-Iowa Dance and Drill Team coming up at the State Girls Basketball Tournament in March as well. So a jam-packed show for you today. As always, we'll start out and kind of go through what's happened in Oskaloosa sports over the past week and get you up to date on that in case you missed any. So we'll start with football, of course, the big homecoming football game on Friday night, which Oskaloosa took care of business, beating Grinnell 35-16 in a great performance with a big second quarter, big fourth quarter. Tyler Miller, for the second time this season, 4 touchdowns for Oskaloosa in that football game. So great performance by him. Wyatt Creer ran the football hard. Reed Brown, Aaron Blom had some big plays, and the offensive and defensive lines were dominant the entire game in that win over Grinnell. Other district scores from 3A District 7, it was the opening week of district play, and Newton defeated South Tama 56-21. Pella got back on the winning side after back-to-back losses as they shut out Knoxville 24-0. That handed Knoxville their first loss of the season. And then, of course, Oskaloosa defeats Grinnell 35-19. So after 1 week of district play, Newton, Pella, and Oskaloosa are the teams that are 1-0, and South Tama, Knoxville, Grinnell all 0-1 to start. Keep in mind, when the regular season is done here in a few more weeks, district champions automatically qualify for the playoffs in their respective classes, regardless of what your record may be prior to the start of district play. So Oski's right where they want to be, 1-0, and of course they head to Newton this Friday night. Other district games this week will be Knoxville at Grinnell. That's going to be a big game. And then Pella will be a high favorite as they go to South Tama. So fully look for Pella to come out 2-0. And then Oski, of course, going to Pella the following week. So Oski will be at Newton this Friday night. And we'll have that game for you. You can listen to it on the Indians Network on Friday Night Live. We're not allowed to do video from Newton High School, so it will be audio only. But we will bring you live coverage from Newton on Friday night here on the Indians Network. 369 yards offense for Oskaloosa Friday, by the way. 310 on the ground, just a punishing ground attack, and 59 yards through the air. Volleyball, big week as well. Oskaloosa on Tuesday night celebrated their homecoming volleyball match. Huge crowd, energetic atmosphere. Norwalk was the opponent, and Oskaloosa took care of it 3-2 in a thrilling 5-set match. It was back and forth, neck and neck all the way through, and the girls fought in that 5th set to get a 15-9 win and take the 3-2 match win over Norwalk. So Oskaloosa right now, undefeated, 4-0 in the Little Hawkeye Conference. They're the only undefeated right now in the Little Hawkeye Conference for volleyball. They've got some big matches coming up. They go to Pella on Tuesday this week, and next week on Tuesday they have Indianola. And then you also have Pella Christian in the mix the following week. So some big matches still to come, but Oskaloosa right now in the driver's seat to win the Little Hawkeye Conference. There was no swimming activity this week for the girls swim team, but the cross-country teams were in action. They were at Newton on Tuesday, and both teams, girls and boys, finished 8th. Addie Carter led the girls with a 19th place finish. Sage Adam was 28th. Abby Lumsden 34th. Addie Dykstra 45th. Olivia Stobshill was 48th. Paven Canute 57th, and Trisha Van Donsler 59th. Boys side, they were also 8th. Patrick Durande led the way in 23rd. Caden Gerard was 46th. William Leonard 47th. Aiden Scott 49th. Caden Ayala 51st. And Jack Dawson, who was our homecoming king, by the way, was 76th in that meet for the boys. And they will be at Knoxville this coming Tuesday. And again, we're going to talk today with the Dance Dynamics girls that were selected to the All-Iowa Dance and Drill Team coming up at the state championships 3A for girls basketball in March at Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines. So we're going to talk that as well. So stick around. We've got a lot to come. We're going to talk football with Coach Brett Dowd. He is the offensive coordinator. We're going to talk volleyball with Coach Jennifer Comfort, and a couple of the senior leaders on the team, Jolie Yang and Riz Alesna, will join us. We'll also talk cross country with Oski coach Mike Comfort, and we'll talk to all 8 of those girls that will be were selected for the All Iowa Dance and Drill team. Stick around, a lot to come here on this week's edition of the Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. We'll get started right after this.
Hy-Vee's Choice Reserve and Prime Reserve beef, arguably the best beef in America. Their quality and flavor are undisputable, undeniable. Let's get ready to be unstoppable! Decision.
We are back on Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee, and we're going to talk Oskaloosa football now. Big win on Friday night, homecoming win and district opener win for Oskaloosa football as they took care of Grinnell. 35-16 was the final score. And we're joined right now by offensive coordinator and one of the assistant coaches, Brett Dowd. And first of all, Coach, offense got a chance to shine on Friday night. Congratulations. What an effort on Friday.
Yeah, we were extremely proud of our guys. They grinded. We turned the ball over a few times and gave Grinnell some early points. And the way the rate season had been going, that could have been an easy point to put your head down. And we didn't. We grinded. We focused on that. And we were able to do a lot of positive things throughout the rest of the night.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about what the week of prep was like, first of all. I mean, you're battling homecoming and all the activities going on for one. 2, obviously, very key injuries that occurred the week before with 3 key players, Tyler Miller, Aaron Blom, and Will Schultz. So what was the week of prep like, not knowing maybe who was going to be able to go or how hard they were going to be able to go, and then obviously you had to kind of completely switch up your offense?
Yeah, we've had a few weeks of that same situation where we've had a lot of injuries and we don't know who's good and who's not, and so we created a few different scenarios, and we repped Reed Brown at quarterback all week, we repped Tyler at quarterback all week, and we repped different offensive linemen, and honestly we didn't decide on who was going to take the field as quarterback and all the other positions until literally like 2 minutes before. And we were really trying to get the kids to buy into the way this year's been going. Everybody's got to be ready to go, and it doesn't matter who's playing what position. We need to support each other, and we need to be happy for each other. And we've seen kind of a culture change in this last week or two by going that route. And it's taken us a little while, but we're starting to see some progress, and we like where we're at right now.
Absolutely. Well, Tyler Miller ended up starting the game at quarterback. He finished the game at running back. We'll talk about that more in a second. But Tyler, I understand, had never actually started a game at quarterback. So, how proud were you of Tyler to go out there and handle it the way he did?
Yeah, I knew from a tailback standpoint that he knew the entire offense from the quarterback.
Right.
Not throwing the ball, but making reads and understanding what we're looking for. So it was kind of an easy transition for him there. But as far as doing it, that's a different situation. And then on top of the fact that I told him probably a minute before we went on the field, hey, you're going to QB, Brown's going to Z. And he took it in stride. He's a senior. He's very confident in what he does. We will work on the passing game with all of our quarterbacks this week. We won't get too complex with it. We won't get Cole Henry complex, but we'll keep it basic, and we need to both throw the ball a little bit. But, yeah, I thought Tyler did a fantastic job.
Yeah, and then Wyatt Creer got a chance to start at running back, and Wyatt ran the ball hard, and it sounds like that's something that, as coaches, you guys knew Wyatt was capable of, but it was good to see him get out there and do that on Friday night. Ran the ball very hard.
Yeah, Wyatt could start at tailback for most teams in our district. He's a solid athlete, and you saw firsthand what he could do when he had the ball. He's very patient. He waited for our blocks to come through and got on our kick blocks, and he made yards after contact too. He's a tough kid. So we were very confident in moving Wyatt there. That was part of the tandem of Tyler and Wyatt, probably 2 of our best athletes and most confident athletes, putting them back there in a game where we needed to be solid and take care of the football.
Sure. Then, of course, Wyatt, third quarter, suffered a possible concussion, did not return. Have you heard anything on his status? Is he good to go, or what's Wyatt's status?
Yeah, he'll go through the protocol Monday. He'll take we already have baseline data. That's what all players have to do at the beginning of the year. And he'll have to retake that quiz or the test and see what his response level's at. And I mean, we're hopeful. He did get dinged a little bit there, but he was very responsive. about 10 minutes later or so. So I'm hopeful. You know, you want the best for the kids too. You want them to be healthy. So it's kind of one of those areas where you can't really dabble too much into.
How about Will Schultz then, our starting quarterback all season? He had a concussion last week, wasn't able to go in the homecoming game. Is he able to come back this week?
So about halfway through the week, we found out he was not going to be able to play because he needed to clear the protocol, and then you have to start with a 5-day stint. And he just wasn't going to be ready in time. And so he again will be with Wyatt Monday, and we'll see how much progress he's made. And then, you know, again, it's kind of where we're at, and we'll find out Tuesday or Wednesday if he's going to be able to go. So we're going to prepare, and we have guys that can step in and do the job.
All right. Well, let's talk about the game in itself now and kind of break it down. You spot Grinnell 9 points. And that's what happened. I mean, they scored 9 points on our offense due to our mistakes, and we're down 9-0. So I saw the sideline kind of deflate for a little while there in that first quarter. What'd you do to bring them back up? Because second quarter, we just exploded.
Yeah, I mean, now that it's over and all said and done, it could be the best thing that ever happened to us, because we've gone through a lot of adversity this year, and we faced adversity at the very beginning of this game, and it was awesome to see how we responded, and kids could see that, okay, we can fight through these challenges. So yeah, I mean, the kids just grinded, and we moved forward. We saw a lot out of our offensive line too. I mean, we're talking about skill position. I tell you what, man, if we watched film on Saturday, and it was awesome.
Yep.
We were moving people. We had some combo blocks where, you know, Grinnell defenders were not happy with us, but it's because they're getting pancaked, and they were just getting manhandled. And I said on one of the last plays we watched Saturday when we were in film, you know, I'm proud of you guys not only because you're being physical, but Butler, on one of our blocking schemes, he needs to get to the backside backer. Well, the backside backer took himself out of play, so he just took a nice lateral step and got up to play side backer, so that freed up another blocker for us. I said, not only are we playing physical, but now we're playing smart. We understand the schemes, we know what we're looking for, and if we're going to need to run the ball, we have to be able to do that. So I was extremely proud of our offensive line. All 5 guys did a great job.
Yeah, offensive and defensive lines dominated, I think, all 4 quarters. So we spot them, you know, 9 points. We're down 9-0 heading into the second quarter, and then we finally get on the board, and now it's a brand new ball game. It's 9-7 at that point, and it wasn't too long after that we score again, and now we're up 14-9, and you could just feel and see the change. Not only the kids, but the coaches, the fans, everybody was like, all right, here we go, we're back in this, let's go beat the Tigers. And 21 unanswered points in that second quarter. That's an offensive coordinator's dream, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first moment this year where you really felt a big momentum shift. Like, we've been on the other side of the momentum shift, and we felt that the ball would turn. And I mean, give credit to our defense. Our defense has been rock solid the last few games, and they're going to continue to be. You know, keeping Kenny on one side of the ball, he just kills people. And he's hard to go against in practice too, so I can only imagine what it's like preparing for him. And we've been solid. Our linebacker play is getting a lot better. We're very young at linebacker, but we're getting better. Our D-line is experienced, getting better, and then our secondary's played solid too. So our defense has been what allowed us to get back into this game on Friday. There's no doubt about that. And then our offense stepped up and answered the call.
Definitely. I think forced 5 turnovers, if I'm correct on that, with Grinnell. 4 fumbles and an interception. And Leland Evans, 3 fumble recoveries, and Kenny Satimi had 1. Those 2 really stood out. And coming into the game, you know, my broadcast partner, Dud DeCock, pointed out several times, you know, Grinnell is not what they look like on paper. They haven't played any tough competition. We have with Norwalk and Washington. And that proved to be true. They came in, they had the best pass attack out of our district team starting district play. And they had a running back that statistically was the top running back in all of Class 3A after 4 games. We held them to 16 first half yards, -5 rushing. Just an amazing performance by our defense. And I know obviously Coach Jenkins works mostly with the defense, but what does that do just for the morale of the team when you can just shut down a team that looks so good on paper like that?
Yeah, I know Coach was talking this whole week that he wanted to pitch that shutout. You know, from a coaching standpoint, we see who they've beaten, who they've lost to, but we also saw who we've beaten and who we've lost to. On paper, we're 2-2, but we've beaten 2 teams that haven't beaten another team. So this was a big game for both Grinnell and us to see where we are. And from a defensive standpoint, you know, our defense played well against Norwalk. They really did. They kept us in the game for a long time. So I know Coach Jenkins, Coach Sterner, Coach Dykstra, they were licking their chops because they wanted to go out there, and they had a great scheme for Grinnell, and they were expecting to pitch a shutout. So I was joking at the end of the game, and I said, if our defense wouldn't allow the other team to get off to such a good start, but no, they gave up 7 points. They performed well, and last year was kind of the opposite. We had our offense rolling, and we were putting up big points, and this year's just a different dynamic. So we've been on both sides of the spectrum, and the defense has been doing tremendous.
Yeah. So 21-16 lead at halftime for Oskaloosa, and then third quarter was a bit of a lull. Neither team really did a lot, kind of traded punts back and forth. And then fourth quarter, 2 huge plays by your offense. Reed Brown comes in at quarterback after Wyatt Career was forced to the sideline, and you put Tyler back at tailback and switched things up, and that brought Reed Brown in. And Reed didn't waste a lot of time, and he broke free on a 74-yard run. Now you know that Reed is capable of that, but how nice was it for him to be able to showcase that?
His straight line speed is very incredible. We saw that in the Untitled scrimmage when he finds a hole and he puts his foot down and goes. And as soon as he did, I was like, oh, he's gone. So that was awesome to see. They went down and scored for the first time against our defense, and that's time where, okay, offense, we got to go. Like we have to finish this game. We have to go get first downs. I wasn't necessarily expecting to score, but we need to run a lot of clock and change flip field position. So the second I saw him put his foot down and take off, everybody was going crazy, for sure.
Yeah, I misspoke. It was 21-9, and then Grinnell scored there to pull within 21-16, and all of a sudden it was a brand new game at that point early in the fourth quarter. And then about a minute later is when Reed Brown broke free on that 74-yard burst. And then later on in the fourth quarter, Aaron Blom, I know you've been waiting for your senior to step up. He's been battling ankle injuries. He's in a lot of pain, but he did. He toughed it out the whole game. He kicked well, and he got a chance to shine on offense. And I was going crazy. I was calling touchdown, and then I realized he stepped out the 4-yard line. But an 83-yard run to set up your final score.
Yeah, once again, what a momentum play. We had a chance to seal the deal, and Aaron came through there. He is a kid that's extremely important to our team from a linebacker standpoint on defense, and then offensively, he's very smart. He understands, like, he can play F and Z. So we've had so many injuries. Like in this case, when we moved Reed Brown back to quarterback, we said, Aaron, you're going to Z. So he's just dynamic in that, and we're being hard on him, honestly, and we're going to toughen him up because he has dinged ankles. We understand that, and we just say tape him. If we've been through that as coaches, and I know Aaron's a very tough kid and he's resilient, and just saying if it's not broken and you can go on it, you got to go. And so we've taken all precautionary measures to make sure nothing's broken or torn or anything. And it stinks, but it is what it is, and we need him, and he knows that, and he's grinding for us.
Well, in the end, it was a 35-16 homecoming win for Oskaloosa and opening week in district play, so Oskaloosa moves to 3-2 overall, but 1-0 in Class 3A District 7 play, which is key because district champions automatically make the playoffs regardless of how your 4-game non-district season might have turned out. So, Coach, as an offensive coordinator, you focus on a lot more than what we do up in the booth, obviously, and you see every little thing and you break it down on film. So, what are some things you were most impressed with your offense, and not just key players, but across the board? And then what are some things that you picked out that we still need work on?
Well, when we're scheming against Grinnell, we pick up on tendencies that their defense has. I don't necessarily want to say those because I don't want to anybody listen to it, but the biggest thing I was impressed with was what I talked about earlier, was our offense understood why we were doing what we were doing. When we line up in this formation, we're going to see this tendency, so we know which way we want to run the ball. So that's big for our offense, not only to perform, but it's important for them to know why we're doing it. And we're getting to that level of understanding why we're doing things. So that was what I was most impressed with. An area we need to work on is just staying consistent. I think from an offensive standpoint, we have shown great spurts of being very explosive and moving the ball, and then we shoot ourselves in the foot and shoot ourselves in the foot. So the consistency aspect needs to improve. And like I said, we're making strides in the right direction. Again, you can win a game and feel like you're on top of the world with one game. And we know that we're 1-0 in the district. We know winning one game in the district is not going to win a district title. So I've poured a ton of time into Newton already, and I'm ready to go. We're going to go to a coaches meeting here in about an hour or so, and I'm ready to start preparing. This is when it gets exciting. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Newton. They're a much improved football team this year, the way it looks anyway. And I know from some people that I know in Newton and some people that Doug DeCock knows in Newton, and I'm sure you guys have heard it too with Coach Jenkins being from Newton, they think that they've got this as a W on their calendar at the beginning of the year when they broke down their season, that they feel like they can beat Oskaloosa. So I'm sure that gives you a little extra fuel for the fire, so to speak. But what does Newton bring to the table? What have you been able to identify about them so far?
I mean, they're tough. They're always going to be tough. Jake can speak on that too. Newton kids are going to grind. They have a great coaching staff. It is a big game in the sense that Jake gets to go back to his hometown and coach where his dad coached for years, and I know that's important for Jake. So, you know, what you think at the beginning of the year, I know maybe Grinnell thought that we were a W going into this year because of what we lost, and you can think what you want to think, but you got to strap it up and play the game, so you better be prepared.
Exactly. Yeah, it is going to be a big night. Coach Jenkins is from Newton, of course, and the locker room actually has his dad's name on it, the locker room you're going to be in, so I know he's excited about that, and he really wants to get the win, as do you, and I think it's going to be a great game on Friday night against the Newton Cardinals. So last question I'll ask for you, Coach, is now, you know, this could be an offensive coordinator's dream / nightmare all in one at the same time. I mean, you've been able to see so many different kids in different positions, what they can do here, what they can do there. Do you have an idea yet what you're going to do Friday night as far as, you know, the skill positions?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of kids playing a lot of different positions. So, you know, going into the week, people are going to ask who's going to start quarterback, and we'll talk about this tonight. I'll say I have no clue. We're going to go with what looks good at practice, and then we're going to have plan B, we're going to have plan C. And it's nothing against any of those kids. I think we're very explosive with any of them. It just depends on what kind of rhythm we get in the game, how comfortable we feel at practice, and we'll go from there. Like last Friday, we started with Tyler. It was a last-second decision. We went with it. Brown was, I mean, we're preaching, doesn't matter who it is, let's support each other, be ready to go. And then Brown steps in the second half. Tyler, extremely happy for him when he takes off for the touchdown. So, you know, Will has done a nice job for us. He's a very explosive player. Really, the kids that are going to be on the field are the kids that are giving us momentum and we're doing good things with. So it has nothing to do with who we feel is better at this one position. It's a lot more about, okay, who are we better as a team with? You know, if we put this player here and we put this player here, we want athletes on the field. That's our goal. So it'd be hard to prepare for, you know, because you don't know who you're going to get. So. And that's where we're at. It's hard for me to prepare for too, because I don't know who we're going to get.
Exactly. Well, Coach, congratulations on a great win on Friday night. It was thrilling. The homecoming atmosphere. The whole week has been great. The parade was great. The coronation was great, and then you guys cap it off with a big win on Friday night. So congratulations to you and Coach Jenkins and everybody else, and go get Newton on Friday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That is Brett Dowd. He's the offensive coordinator and one of the assistant coaches on the Oskaloosa High School football team. Is again Oski now 3-2 overall, 1-0 in district, headed to Newton this coming Friday night. You'll see it live right here, or actually you'll hear it live this Friday night on the Indians Network. We'll take a break. Back with more Indians Corner presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee coming up.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve with home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
Call State Farm agent Wendell Campbell at 641-673-4462.
Welcome back to the Indians Corner presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. Jamie Brockman talking Oskaloosa volleyball now with Oski coach Jennifer Comfort. Coach, big week, great, exciting, thrilling homecoming win Tuesday night over Norwalk. Another thrilling 5-set win. Your girls toughed out to the end.
They did. They competed hard, and it was a great crowd to win in front of.
Absolutely. Well, you jumped out. So just take me through that match. It was back and forth, back and forth. Every set was tight right down to the wire, and the first three were just amazing.
It was really good volleyball on both sides. We knew that they were going to bring a great squad down, and it was going to be very competitive. I knew that with it being homecoming, our girls were going to fight to the end, and they absolutely did. When we looked at the final scores, we ended up over all the sets only being won by a total of 4 points. So that's how close it was.
It was. What were some things you talked to the girls about ahead of time and then throughout the match?
We knew that they were going to have a very tall block. We knew that they were tall, that they were very defensive minded. So we made sure that we were spreading out our offense as much as possible, giving the sets to the pins, and then trying for our girls to hit line. Also serving tough to get them out of rotation or out of system, so that we were able to attack them and set up our defense effectively.
Obviously, the normal statistics that you see every match were there with Faith Durande and girls like that. But Jessica Schlesman was one that really stepped up for you in that match and really hit the ball well.
She did. She had a great match, and when we're able to get her the ball, it's because we're in system. And Jolie does a great job of getting that ball back to her, and Jess knows that one of the best ways for her to be effective is to hit that line. And so she did a great job of executing that, and it really worked for us.
Defensively, there were some amazing volleys back and forth that went forever, and both sides had some great defense in that match.
Right, and there weren't as many blocks as there probably should have been with the height of both teams, but it's because hitters were being smart and hitting around the block, and the diggers were just right there to take care of it. I was very impressed with Norwalk's backcourt, but also with ours as well.
So you mentioned the atmosphere and how fun it was to play in homecoming week, and of course Powder Puff Volleyball followed. It's been a while since you've had an atmosphere like that in the Oski gym. What did that feel like?
It was good. It's one of those things where the crowd responds when we do well. And one thing we need to train is the encouragement that we need when we're not playing as well, and that's where we really need to work on that crowd support. But it's really nice just to see people and to really play through that time that you're having Powder Puff. The people showed up for Powder Puff and we were still playing, so we may have gained some fans through that.
Sure. Well, you were up 2-1 in that set and had a chance to ice it and put it away in the fourth set, and girls come out a little bit flat in that fourth set. And tell me your thoughts on that and what you discussed with them to then get them ready to come out and dominate that fifth set.
There was just a couple plays that didn't go our way. We were struggling a little bit, and there was a little bit of tension on the court, so we called a timeout. The girls took care of it, and then they came out and they started playing. So we talked to them, don't give up on a set. Start playing that set for the next set. So those last 8 points or so, I think we scored them 7-7 those last points. Even though we lost the set, we were gaining momentum for that fifth set, and that's where we saw us take care of business in the fifth set.
And then the fifth set, it was neck and neck, back and forth, and then you pulled away down toward the end there and got the win. I think it was 15-9 final in set number 5. So a 3-2 win over Norwalk on Tuesday night for the Oskaloosa volleyball team. Stay undefeated in Little Hawkeye Conference now at 4-0. You're the lone undefeated up top of the conference. How does that feel?
It's great, but we know that we've got 4 tough matches left. We've played some good teams to start, and now we've got some tough challenges. We've been on the road for 2 out of the last 4.
Yep. Next week I think you're at Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont on Monday, and then Tuesday you go to Pella, and then I know the week following you have Indianola at home on Tuesday. So Pella and Indianola are 2 big ones coming up conference-wise. Let's talk about Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont first. That's out of conference. I know it's always fun when EBF and Oski get together because the kids know each other,
right.
Probably played a lot together. So tell me what you're thinking going into that match Monday.
We're working on a little bit of a different look, some things that we want to practice, getting ready for postseason, and so we're going to try some things out in that match, so then we can use them if we need them against future opponents. So it's going to be a good test to trust our training, trust our patience with each other, and just working through our points.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got some things to work on, but I think we're looking forward to that match. And just gonna go down and play Eddyville. We do camp with them. We do a lot of things, and it's unfortunate we have to actually somebody has to win and lose. But it's a good match for us just to measure where we see each other in camp, and then now about 2/3 of the way through the year.
Of course, the Rockets are a smaller school, smaller class, but they're a very competitive small
Absolutely,
school.
absolutely. I never take them for granted at all. They fight every single point.
Exactly. So then Tuesday, back to conference at Pella, and as we mentioned, Pella's got a couple losses in the conference, but they're hoping maybe they can climb their way back up to the top somehow. What challenges does Pella bring this year?
Pella's they're just always relentless. Coach Katie does a great job of just training them year in and year out. They're always prepared. They work very hard. We saw them already at the Southeast Bowl tournament. They're young, but they fight for every point as well. So they're well trained. They're learning every match that they play. They had great examples in front of them. So we know that they know how to play volleyball. We know that they'll come ready to compete every single set. So just looking forward to getting up there and playing yet another conference game to see where we're at.
Is it a little bit of a challenge being that it's on the road? I mean, it's the first big conference match that you played on the road, and you won't have that. Well, it's only 15 miles. Hopefully we'll have a big crowd there, but
right.
Is that any challenge at all going on the road?
It always is, and the girls have typically done a good job, but this will be a really good test for them, especially with having a game the night before. It'll just really challenge our mental strength, but I think the girls definitely have it in them.
Awesome. Well, what a year it's been. 4-0 in the Little Hawkeye Conference, sitting at top, and just a few more conference matches to go in the next week and a half. So Congratulations on everything. I know I can just see everybody having fun, and I can see the excitement building around Oskaloosa volleyball everywhere we go this year. So congratulations on that. Good luck to you the rest of the year.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it.
All right, that is Jennifer Comfort, head volleyball coach at Oskaloosa High School. Coming up, we're going to talk more volleyball. We've got a couple of the senior leaders and players on the team. We've got the libero Riz Alesna and the setter and homecoming queen Julie Yang coming up. So stick around. We're going to talk to the girls coming up after this.
Hy-Vee's Choice Reserve and Prime Reserve Beef, arguably the best beef in America. Their quality and flavor are undisputable, undeniable. Let's get ready to be unstoppable! And the winner by unanimous decision,
And we're back on Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. Continuing our Oskaloosa volleyball discussion, we've got a couple of the senior leaders on the floor for the volleyball program. We have seniors Riz Alesna and also Jolie Yang, and Jolie, of course, is the setter, and Riz is the defensive guru, the libero, if you will. And first of all, girls, congratulations on a great season, and Jolie, congratulations to you on homecoming queen.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that week first of all. Being on the homecoming court, I think both of you were on the court, and what was that like, just being on the court and waiting until Thursday night to find out who gets to wear the crown?
It felt really great. It was really nerve-wracking, and it was really stressful too throughout the whole week, but
yeah, we were really stressed over like all the work we have, and then the volleyball games and all the events we have.
Sure. So how did you balance that? How did you stay volleyball focused? Because you guys came out very focused, picked up a big win on Tuesday night.
Well, we made sure volleyball comes first, and then we practiced throughout the week.
Okay. So now let's talk about Tuesday night, the big win over Norwalk. What was your mindset coming into that match? What was the locker room like, and what was your mindset before you came out on the floor?
we knew that we needed to be focused and absolutely play at our level because we knew that they were going to be a pretty good team. So we just helped each other and just wanted to be there.
Yeah, we fought for every point, and then we made sure to get pumped before the game.
Okay. And we talked to Coach about the atmosphere, but what is that like for you girls when you come out and you've got a packed gym and a huge full student section making all kinds of noises? What does that do for you guys?
We are so nervous when we get on the court because everyone's watching. Every mistake we do, they are watching. So we had to make sure we were focused and we zone out everything.
But we absolutely love the big crowd because it makes us really pumped and excited to play.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are just having a great season, 4-0 in Little Hawkeye Conference, sitting at the top right now with a chance to win the conference when it's all said and done. Let's talk about the team. You guys are seniors, you're leaders on the team. There's 7 of you this year. So tell me about the camaraderie between, first of all, just you 7 seniors, and you've been together a long time.
Yeah, we have played together for a long time during our swing club. And then it got a lot better also throughout the whole year. So I think we have a really good chance. And we have a really strong team this year. So.
Yeah, and so we're comfortable with each other and we know each other well.
Okay. Well, let's talk specifics now. Jolie is the setter, so you're kind of the quarterback of the team, and you've got to run all over and after the serve receive to get those sets. And sometimes you get out of rotation a little bit, and somebody else has to do that. But tell me, being the setter, what it's like, and how do you decide where to go with that ball in a split second like that?
Usually it just depends on the other team, how they're playing, or just wherever the ball is, or being able to know where my hitters are so I can see where to set them, just to see on the other side, be more offensive.
So do you kind of pay attention to maybe who's hot, who's hitting the ball well too,
yes.
and maybe set that way more? Or?
Yes, I do that. I do that too, and then just usually whoever's open in case we're in a big scramble.
What would you say is the biggest challenge of being a setter?
Maybe doing different plays in different setting.
Okay.
Hitters.
All right, and then Riz Alesna, she's the libero, so you can't miss her because she wears the different color jersey on the floor. But you're a defensive specialist, and you don't get a lot of the limelight with the big kills and things like that. So it takes, I think, a special person to accept that role, to just be kind of the worker out there on the floor. So tell me, first of all, what you like about being the defensive specialist libero.
I like talking about what's happening in the back row and then getting the ball up to Jolie and making sure everyone's working hard. Okay, and obviously it takes a lot of time to perfect that role too, because that's got to be one of the hardest things there is trying to dig these balls up that are coming at you, 100 miles an hour. Yeah.
So, what type of prep do you put in, and do you study the other team a lot, kind of figure out maybe where you need to be?
Yeah, always watching the other team and making sure like what angles they have, and then being outside the block is like the most important thing. If you're not outside the block, then you won't be able to get to the ball. So like that's the important goal.
Okay. How exciting is it when you dive down to the floor, you dig one up that is this close to being down, and the ball stays alive, and we end up getting a point out of that or a kill. How exciting is that for you?
It's very exciting because, like, first of all, I'm surprised I got it up. And then getting it to Jolie's head and then winning the point is like the greatest thing.
All right. Well, tell me your thoughts on the season. Big wins over DCG in our gym, and then another big win over Norwalk in our gym. Those are a couple big ones that are really going to stand out when the season's all done. So tell me what it was like going 5 sets with both of those teams and back and forth, tight like it was. You get a little momentum going, then you lose it, then you get it back. So either one of you can talk about this, or both of you. But what is that like out there, and how do you keep your flow going?
Well, we kept fighting throughout, and then in the back row we were saying that, oh, nothing hits the ground, make sure everything's up. So we have like the back row mindset and making sure everything's up.
Okay. Obviously coming into the season you had goals, so let's start there. What were some of your goals at the start of the season that you wanted to accomplish?
My goal was to be more of a leader and be able to be more offensive on the team.
Okay.
Making sure to read the hitters and getting balls up and nothing hits the ground.
Okay. So what kind of a grade would you give yourself on those goals right now? Are you where you want to be in that, or do you have more work to do?
I want to accomplish more things. I want to get better throughout the season.
Okay.
Yeah, I absolutely want to get more up there.
Okay. Team-wise, obviously you got a chance to win the Little Hawkeye Conference. What would that mean to you? Should that be the way it is in the end? If you guys can say, hey, we're senior year, we're Little Hawkeye Conference champions.
Well, I tell my girls that we need to make sure to keep our head up. We can't like back down and say, oh, because we're winning, we can't like just make it easy for everyone. We need to make sure to fight to win.
Yeah, we just need to play at our level.
Okay.
Always.
Another goal, get to the state tournament?
Yes.
What would that mean to you? You never had a chance to play there.
It's a good opportunity for us to be up there, like something new to experience. Yeah.
Okay. One other thing that just popped into my head I wanted to ask earlier is the competition that you play throughout the season. Sometimes you don't come out, you take a few bumps along the road this season, but it's against teams like Waukee and Ankeny Centennial and Southeast Polk and Xavier, teams that are high ranked and very, very successful programs. So when you go into a match like that, and then you see those girls come out on the floor, and you think, oh goodness sake, what's your mindset there? What are you trying to pull out of that when it's all done?
Well, we just wanted to learn from them, and we want to get better, so like we use that moment to like practice things.
And do you feel like that helps you in the end when it comes down to big match time and trying to win a 5th set against Norwalk or DCG or whoever it might be?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, what do you enjoy most about the sport of volleyball?
I just love playing with my team, getting to know them, being closer to all the girls, and making memories.
Yeah, and cheering together, like jumping up every point we win.
Do you have set cheers ahead of time, or do you make those up as you go?
We have them
You make them up as you go?
We do both.
Yeah, we do both.
Okay. So it's your senior year. What else do you, once volleyball's done this fall, what else do you participate in at Oskaloosa High School?
We're both tennis players.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's coming up in the springtime.
Yeah.
There's some challenges there too, and maybe we'll talk to you in the spring when tennis season goes. But do you have a favorite of the two?
I like volleyball.
I like volleyball.
More than tennis.
Okay. All right. Well, what's your plans after high school?
I'm going to Graceland University, and I'm going to play volleyball there, and I'm going to major in elementary education.
Okay, great.
I want to play volleyball in college, but I'm not sure what college I want to go to yet, and I want to major in business.
All right, sounds like you girls got a plan. All right. Well, hey, congratulations to you on a great season. It's so fun to watch, and the chemistry between this team is just growing stronger and stronger every time you hit the floor. So congratulations on the success. We enjoy following you, and good luck to you the rest of the year.
Thank you.
All right, that is Jolie Yang and Riz Alesna, a couple of seniors on the Oskaloosa volleyball team. And Oskaloosa, once again, 4-0 right now on top of the Little Hawkeye Conference. We'll be back with more of our Indians Corner presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee coming up.
MCG was born out of the need for reliable connectivity in rural Iowa. We put small-town values over all else because serving local communities is something we take seriously. We believe in providing world-class service, in giving our communities a chance to succeed, in treating everyone like family. MCG helped pioneer reliable communication services in Iowa, and in doing so, learned how to provide solutions in underserved communities. MCG, world-class service, small-town values.
Oskaloosa. It's our community, and we're thankful to be a part of it. Telling its stories, sharing its smiles. We're building community, keeping you informed, giving you a voice, letting you know you're never alone during the victories and the losses, happiness and pain. For tomorrow's a new day, and we'll be there, working for you, ready to tell your story. That's our commitment. It's what we do, now and in the future, because we're always on. We're Oskaloosa News.
Welcome back to our Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. As you can see, we have a full set right now, as we are joined by 8 girls from Oskaloosa Dance Dynamics team. These 8 girls all were selected for the All-Iowa Dance and Drill team, which is going to perform at halftime of the Class 3A state championship game in basketball this year at Wells Fargo Arena. So first of all 8 of you, congratulations. What an accomplishment.
Thank you.
So the girls are, I'll have you raise your hand when I say your name, okay? So we've got Carson Swim. And Carson, this is her 4th time on the All-Iowa Dance and Drill team, so that's pretty awesome. Congratulations. We've got Jessica Cunningham, and it's her 2nd selection to the team. Everybody else, it's their 1st time. How exciting. So we've got Mallory Vandermeiden. We've got Jordan Zawinski, Caitlin Patat. We've got Avery Rockhold. And we've got Chloe Sarver, as well as Morgan Ford. So those are the girls that are going to be representing Oskaloosa High School in the All-Iowa Dance and Drill team coming up at halftime of that 3A state championship game. So first of all, I understand there were well over 400 girls that auditioned to be part of this team, and I believe they select, what is it, 240?
Yeah,
I think. And so first of all, what was the audition process like, and what was the preparation like, and then what was the audition like?
Yeah, so we try out at Ames Middle School. So we go to Ames in the morning and we learn 2 one-minute routines. So we learn a palm routine and a kick routine. We learn those each in about probably an hour. And then we get about 2 hours to just kind of perfect it, try to memorize it. And then we go in front of the judges in groups of, I think, 12. And then they score us based on that. So.
Okay. Is it hard to go out there and do a routine? 1, you only had an hour to learn, and 2, you've got 11 other girls in the mix that you don't know and haven't performed with. Is that a challenge?
Yeah, it definitely is, and they're really looking for people that can pick up fast, because when we actually perform in March, we learn a whole 10-minute routine in 3 days. So we have to be able to learn quick, so that's really what they're looking for at the tryouts.
Okay, and this is your 4th time on the team, so that's got to make you pretty proud.
Yeah, thank you.
And then we'll bring in Jessica. Jessica's your 2nd time, so you've been there, done that. So was anything different 2nd time around for you?
The first year I was super nervous, and so the 2nd year I was like a lot more calm, and tryouts were a lot easier, and I was around girls that I was the previous year, so it was really fun.
Okay, and the rest of you that are here, it's your 1st time on the team, so just each one of you one at a time, tell me what it was like for you, what the whole process was like for you, and how good it felt when you heard your name called as a member of the team.
Well, it started off very nerve-wracking, and it was kind of hard at first because you didn't know how you felt, and then you went in, and after you were done, you felt relieved. So it was pretty fun.
Anybody else?
It just depends on how you did and what you thought happened in the room when you were auditioning.
Okay, so for you girls that have been on it before, were you able to help these girls, calm them down a little bit, keep them focused? Did you give them advice and help them through the way?
Yeah, the biggest advice that our coaches give us and that we give the younger girls during tryouts is just to keep smiling. If you mess up, you probably will. Almost every girl has a little mistake, because that's a lot to learn in a short amount of time. So just keep smiling and have fun because that's what they're looking for.
Okay. So also 8 girls being selected from Oskaloosa is the most ever on the team in 1 year. So that's pretty awesome. That says a lot about your program. So tell me about that. Tell me what pride that is in your program when all 8 of you step out there with the best of the best.
Yeah, it's really exciting because this is the most girls that we have ever brought to tryouts, and we've never had everyone that tries out make it. So that's super exciting and says a lot for the future of dance team. So.
Okay. So what are you most looking forward to? Final time you get to do it, obviously. So you kind of experienced it all. Is there any specifics that you're really looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm just excited to spend those couple days with the girls because this will be after our state competition and after our winter show. So that's the last thing I'll do with the dance team. So I'm excited. We spend the night in a hotel and spend a lot of time together those days. So just good bonding for us.
Jessica?
Yeah, it'll be super fun, especially because it's such a big group, and we're all really proud of all of them because they've never done it before.
Exactly. Everybody else, first time. What? I'm sure there's going to be some nerves and some butterflies and things like that. But what are some things that you're excited about leading up to that in March?
Well, we've always watched them perform for it, so we're excited to actually be a part of it for once this year.
Okay. It is a pretty spectacular performance. I've been able to witness it many times, sitting courtside, broadcasting and things, and it's just amazing. And then, how much time to learn that?
So I think we go up on Wednesday, right? And we'll learn. I think we have like a 5-hour practice Wednesday night. We practice all day Thursday and then perform on Friday. So
there's 240 girls that have never performed. Well, they might have performed together before, but not on a regular basis. And they get that much time to learn this and perfect it. And then you guys go out there and you just nail it. I mean, it's absolutely spectacular. So can you give us kind of a sneak idea of what the performance is this year? Do you know yet?
Yeah, so there's a pregame routine, which none of us are in this year, and then we'll all be in the halftime routine. So we'll start out all together, the group of 200 some, and then half of us will go off, do the kick routine, half will come on, do palm, and then we'll all finish back together. So.
Okay. Yeah. And this is in front of a pretty big stage at Wells Fargo Arena, and it kind of be pretty cool if maybe some people were playing in the game that night that you might know, right? If Oskaloosa happens to get there, they would be playing in that championship game. So that's pretty cool. But congratulations, girls. This is great. 8 Oskaloosa girls are going to be on the All-Iowa Dance and Drill team, and again, it's at halftime of the 3A state championship basketball game. Girls, rather. It's the girls, isn't it? I'm sorry. It's the girls state tournament, 3A state championship game at Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines. As far as your season outside of this, we wanted to bring you girls in and highlight your honor, but tell me about your whole team this year. Every Friday night we see you, we get to see a little bit of a different routine. So how are things going, and how do you feel overall?
Super good. The team's been working really hard and putting all their effort in, and we're really excited for state.
And state is when?
In December, the 5th and 6th.
Okay. And how many different routines are you taking to state?
We'll be taking 4. We'll have palm, co-ed, lyrical, and jazz.
Okay. Looking forward to that too as well. And that's also down there at Iowa Events Center and a pretty big stage too. So, all right, girls, congratulations once again, Carson Swim, Mallory Vandermeiden, Jessica Cunningham, Jordan Serwinski, Caitlin Patat, Avery Rockhold, Chloe Sarver, and Morgan Ford are the 8 girls that will be representing Oskaloosa in the All-Iowa Dance and Drill team. Halftime of the 3A state championship for Iowa girls basketball this year. Girls, thanks for coming in. Congratulations once again. Good luck to you, girls.
Thank you.
All right, we will take a break. Back with more Indians Corner presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee coming up.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve with home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
Call State Farm agent Wendell Campbell at 641-673-4462.
We are back on this week's edition of Indians Corner presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. I'm Jamie Brockman, and once again we're going to talk Oskaloosa boys and girls cross country as we're joined again by Coach Mike Comfort. First of all, Coach, exciting but frustrating week coach-wise, homecoming week. We talked about it a little bit last week, and then your kids went out and performed on Tuesday, and I know you felt maybe they got the homecoming bug hit them a little bit.
Yeah, I think the message to our team was we didn't run to our capabilities, and there's some positives. We had some individuals do well or do okay, but we just didn't run and show what we've been showing in practice. And yeah, I think part of that was maybe homecoming. we sat down on Wednesday and we had a good discussion about it, and the kids said, yeah, we for whatever reason we weren't mentally there. You know, part of it's midway through the season, it's their 5th meet. It's easy to get jacked up for the first couple and the last couple, and so I think that's part of it. New course for a lot of the kids. We just weren't all mentally there. We had a great conversation though at practice on Wednesday. Moved forward, had a great week of practice. So I expect we'll be better on Tuesday. So I'm hoping this is a good learning experience for all of us that we can build upon.
So that was at Newton on Tuesday. Both teams, girls and boys, finished 8th in the team race, and Addie Carter led the girls in 19th, and Patrick Durande led the boys in 8th. So I know you weren't totally satisfied with the performance there, and you thought maybe they were a little bit flat, but were there any surprises to you as far as maybe kids doing a little better than you might have expected at that meet?
You know, I think some of our guys that ran well, some of our team that ran well, and I thought, you know, Trisha Van Donsen ran her first varsity race for the girls. I thought she did really well with her first race. We had some very good JV races. We had Zach Tarr, Elliot Nelson, and Lawson Morris ran awesome. Brooke Allen had another great race as well. So we had some good individuals there. You know, I think we kind of gave like a B-, C+. So it's not like we went out there and ran awful. And I think we were building some momentum. But we just want to really make sure we're in tip-top shape going in.
So now this week you've got to meet on Tuesday at Knoxville, and for the first time we have to kind of worry a little bit about weather. We've had a lot of rain over the weekend and into the first part of this week. So is that a concern of yours at all, and what challenges might that present?
Right. I'm never worried about what the weather's like on the course. You know, I want the meet to be run. That's always my number one concern. And so yeah, rain's in the forecast for Tuesday. It's at a golf course, finals golf course. So usually golf courses are a little less lenient if it's rainy, and I get that. Sometimes I'll move it to Thursday if they cancel meet on Tuesday, so we'll wait and see. But we always prepare like it's going to happen. I tell the kids we will run well no matter the conditions, whether it's 100, whether it's 20, whether it's rainy or dry. So I'm not worried about if it's wet. I just want to get the meet in. I think we're all itching to compete again.
Sure. So that's at Knoxville at Pine Knolls Golf Course on Tuesday, weather permitting. So as we move forward from there, then we're getting near the end of the fall sports season here. So tell me what's coming up after Knoxville and what you have between now and districts.
Yeah, so the Tuesday after that is a Centerville, and then the Monday after that is conference up at Norwalk, and that'll be the end of our season for a JV team. So the goal at Knoxville and Centerville is to kind of round ourselves into shape, continue to improve where we're at, and so we can put our best foot forward at conference that day. That's the 14th, I think. And then 24th is when districts are. And so we'll back off of that, we'll feel fresh, but we need to really make some good progress the next 2 weeks. And I think physically we're fine. We just need to, again, teach ourselves how to race, learn how to race. A young team, haven't had a lot of meets under the belts, we got to learn how to run through discomfort, and just tactically got to learn some things. So that's what the focus is on those next 2 things. We hope to finish very high in the team standings on both, but it's those other things we need to work upon. If we can do that, we'll be good at conference and districts. And we don't know where districts is at, probably Pella. I mean, they're hosting, but we'll find out usually the week of conference.
Yeah. How does districts work? How do you get to state in cross country? Because there's team and individual qualifiers.
Yeah, great question. So there's 5 districts. Top 3 teams at each district qualify for state. So you get 15 teams to state. And then it's the top 15 individuals get to state as well. Now, if all 15 of those individuals are from qualifying teams, then there's no extra individuals. If they're all 15 are not on qualifying teams, then all 15 can go. Typically, there's probably 5 to 8 individuals that make it that aren't already on a team. So, you know, we've taken someone to state since I think '06. So going back to my dad coached, and so we want to make sure we keep that streak going. The goal is to get a team to state, obviously, but we want to. One of our team goals is to represent Oski at state this year. So.
Sure. So when you look at your front runners like Patrick Durande on the boys, and then Addie, Sage, and Abby have kind of been trading that top spot back and forth all year on the girls' side. Is there a target time that you say, hey, you have to be in this range, you know, to be considered for state?
Yeah, I mean it certainly varies on the competition and the course. Boys, you're probably looking at 17. 30, 45 gives you a shot. Girls is probably 20, 30, 20, 45, give or take, depending upon the year. Now Patrick ran 17:53 at Pella way back in the beginning of September, and so we feel like he can, at that day at Pella, he'll be in shape to do it. He's just got to go do it. And Braden Van Kampen too has been coming along. I think he's got a shot as well. Girls got a little bit more gap looking at where they're at now to where they need to be to qualify. Can they make that? Yeah, but they got to close some time. So yeah, I mean, you kind of got to do it at times, but it comes down to you got to show up and you got to be the top 15, and you just got to be willing to, halfway through that race, when you're uncomfortable, your goal has to be more important to you than the discomfort, because everybody reaches a breaking point in that race where, man, this is tough, and what we have to teach ourselves, what we have to get better at, is pushing through that.
Yep. All right, sounds good. Well, Coach, good luck to you and the team on Tuesday at Knoxville, and we'll continue to keep track of you as you go through the season up to that, hopefully, the state meet.
Yeah, all right. Thanks for having me.
I bet that is Mike Comfort. He's the head girls and boys cross-country coach at Oskaloosa High School, joining us here on Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell, State Farm, and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee's Choice Reserve and Prime Reserve Beef, arguably the best beef in America. Their quality and flavor are undisputable, undeniable. Let's get ready to be unstoppable! And the winner by unanimous decision, Hy-Vee!
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
Call State Farm agent Wendell Campbell at 641-673-4462.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this week's edition of the Indians Corner, presented by Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee. A lot represented today. Want to say thank you to Oskaloosa football offensive coordinator Brett Dowd for coming in and talking to us about the homecoming win, and looking forward to Newton this coming Friday night. Big thanks to Jennifer Comfort, the Oskaloosa volleyball coach. Also, the two senior leader players coming in, Julie Yang and Riz Alesna, for joining us. And once again, congratulations to Julie Yang on being selected homecoming queen this year for Oskaloosa. Oskaloosa girls and boys cross-country coach Mike Comfort, and also the 8 girls who were selected out of over 420 girls that auditioned for the All-Iowa Dance and Drill team this year. 8 of them from Oskaloosa. That is great. Carson Swim making her 4th appearance on that team. Jessica Cunningham, her 2nd. Everybody else, it's their first time being selected. Mallory Vandermeiden, Jessica Zerwinski, Caitlin Patat, Avery Rockhold, Chloe Sarver, and Morgan Ford, all selected for their first time. And the most ever, 8 girls selected for Oskaloosa to that All-Iowa Dance and Drill team. So thank you to all of them for coming in, and we like to keep up with them and what's going on in Indian sports across the board. Coming up this week, of course, Friday night, Oskaloosa football hits the road as they go to Newton, and we will be there. We will not have live video on Friday, so pass the word around. That's not allowed at Newton High School, but we will be there bringing you audio coverage on Friday night. We'll have our pregame at 7, kickoff at 7:30 as we continue to follow the Indians here on the Indians Network. We hope you can join us for that if you can't be in Newton. So again, thanks to everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Wendell Campbell State Farm and Oskaloosa Hy-Vee for sponsoring our program. And we'll be back with another edition of the Indians Corner next week right here on the Indians Network. Thanks for watching, everybody, and go Indians!